Hey, so I'm just popping on because I wanted to tell you a little bit about my RTT session. Not in any great detail, don't worry, but one of the things that I was worried about before I had an RTT session with Glyniss was I had no idea what would actually happen, and that's almost that fear of the unknown really made me apprehensive and nervous. And I'm someone who I trust Glyniss implicitly. I've been lucky enough to work with her. I've been lucky enough to get to know her. We're in a business mastermind together, and as you know, if you've seen a previous video I did, I've worked with her on an audio. So I had an audio, and well, I'm here in my dream house as a direct result of working with Glyniss on that, and that's almost the reason why. So I'm in my dream house. My dog thinks I'm talking to somebody, because that's going to confuse him for a little while. I'm in my dream house. Everything is incredible. It's literally only have your vision board, and you think, well, I'm there with it. So why am I not doing the things I need to do? why are there still things that are getting in the way, and why am I not feeling the way that I thought I would feel? And whenever that happens, first thing, talk to Glyniss. And I thought, well, I've got absolutely nothing to lose by trying RTT. I know that I've read incredible stories about what's happened as a result. I trust Glyniss, and I know that what she does works. So for me, it was a no-brainer. But I was still really apprehensive. So I just thought I'd share what happens, because I had this image of hypnotherapy. The only thing I've ever known about it is weird people doing weird things on telly, and I just thought, well, I'm not sure I need to dance around as a chicken in order to help me get over some of the fears I'm experiencing. And it's okay. There's no chicken dancing. There's nothing, because you're completely awake, conscious, whatever word you want to use. And that was one of my fears as well. I thought, am I going to say things that I don't remember, or is something going to come up? And I think, really didn't want to go there, and it didn't at all. It's the safest, most nurturing, caring session that you'll ever have, because that's who Glyniss is. So she puts you under. I'm not even sure if that's the right term, but you're experiencing this really quite deep, intense relaxation. Really, that's all it feels like. You can hear everything Glyniss is saying. You're completely awake. You know exactly what you're saying, and yet there's this amazing thing that's happening where your brain is allowing you to think about things in a totally safe way, because you can hear Glyniss reassuring you. And I was worried about, am I going to make a complete idiot out of myself? Are there going to be snot bubbles? That was a real fear. There weren't. There were tears. There were definitely tears. And that was another fear. And I thought, am I going to feel like absolute shit after this? You're kind of thinking about things, remembering things. And I didn't, because the things we were talking about, I genuinely had no clue that's where we'd be going. And they did make me cry. And they did. It wasn't. It probably wasn't what I choose to do on the average day, and sit and cry with somebody on Tinterweb. But it was totally safe and reassuring, and it was okay. It was more than okay. And then you go through almost a healing process, a process where you're changing the way you think about it. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I understand what happens in terms of that. I don't. But as a client, as somebody who's putting their faith in Glyniss to help you, you just feel like it's all okay. It's safe. You can just explore where your mind is taking you. You can talk about the things that are coming up for you, and it's okay. And when I finished that call, I was tired. I was really tired, but I felt the calmest I have felt in a really long time. I felt free, which is something that, for anyone who knows me, knows I'm quite full on, quite intense. Things, I've just got to be doing things all the time, and my brain is on full alert all the time. And I felt free of all of that pressure. And I thought, well, that's awesome. I wonder how long this is going to last. I'm now a week in, and I just feel like anything is possible now. And not in a, kind of really hyper enthusiastic way, in a really calm, I've got this kind of way. And I have never felt like that before. And some of the things we talked about, I can already see that the patterns in my behaviour are changing, the way I'm responding to things are changing, and the way I'm thinking about things are changing, which is exactly what I wanted. And I couldn't do that because, like a lot of you, I'm sure you've read all the books and you've done all the stuff, and you've tried everything, but you don't really know why it's not changing. And that's where I was, because I'm here in the place I've always wanted to be. Everything is amazing. So I didn't understand, and now I understand, and I have a solution, because I've worked with Glyniss through the session, and I have an audio that I'm listening to once, twice a day, as per my instructions, because I always follow instructions, and I feel free of all of the things that were going on, all of the things I was frightened of, all of the responses I had as a result of those things, and it's absolutely incredible. So it's safe, it's nurturing, don't worry about the snot bubbles, and if there's something that you want to sort, if there's something that's been niggling for a really long time, I strongly urge you to talk to Glyniss.